Hello. Many of you out there I know are wondering, what notes am I playing and where are they on my violin? When we put our fingers down on the strings, or when we're just playing an open string, which means we're not using any fingers but the string is just freely vibrating, we produce a note or a pitch. And unfortunately, figuring out what these pitches are is not an intuitive process on the violin. And you'd have to have a pretty good working knowledge of music theory to figure it out. It's not like a piano where you can just easily see the grid, nor do we have frets like on a guitar, which is another wonderful visual aid. So for now, the best way to learn the notes is just to commit to memory these finger to string intersections. And we have our tapes to help. So if any of you have been hesitant about putting tapes on the fingerboard, now is a really good time to do it. And our video lesson on putting tapes on the violin is very clear and easy to follow. And also to help with this tutorial, we have a PDF file, so you can download and print and tape it to your wall or to your computer to refer to. And shortly into this video, you'll also see some graphics and in the space right here of your viewing screen. Okay, so let's take a look at the strings. At the tapes on your instrument. And now obviously they do not represent all of the notes. They're only marking some of the notes, ones that we frequently play in early violin pieces. If I were to put a tape at the location of each pitch on the violin, you would see lots of white lines about every 15 millimeters or so apart. And just like the frets on a guitar, as you go higher in pitch and further up the string, the distance between notes gets smaller, so those lines will get closer together. And as you can imagine, this would be a very confusing layout, and from the skewed perspective of holding the violin under your chin, it would be absolutely dizzying. So, as I said, we just start with a few tapes on the instrument marking the notes that we most frequently play. Now, in this part of the tutorial, we're going to learn the names of the open strings, and I'm going to show you how they look on the musical staff as well. So up here on my left, you'll see a graphic and indicating the 4 strings of the violin, and I'm holding my violin now in the same orientation as the graphic. Okay, so the name of each string is printed above the string. So let's start with our lowest string, which is a G. Okay, and G is the name of the pitch that's produced when the string vibrates. Okay, and this is the lowest string because it's the thickest string. Okay, and I'm going to play it now. Okay, and you'll see how it's represented in written music. And this isn't a music theory class, so I'm not going to explain why the musical staff has 5 lines and why the G has 2 little lines above it. I just want you to see what it looks like. You can memorize that and just remember that that is our lowest string. That's a G. Okay, and now the next string is a D. And the D is slightly thinner than the G string, so it's going to vibrate a little higher. And it looks like this on the musical staff. So it's right below the musical staff. Okay, and then the next string is the A string. Again, it's a thinner string, so it's going to vibrate faster. The pitch is going to be higher. And we write that pitch and you'll see the dot on the musical staff. It's on the 2nd space. Okay, that's what an A looks like. And then our last string, the highest string, and now it's basically, the string is just a wire. It's very thin. And this is the open E string. Okay, and so in this lesson and all our future practice lessons, when you see the little red dot on the graphic covering the letter name of the note, that means we're just playing the open string. We're not using any fingers. Okay. All right, so now it's important when we're learning all the names of the notes to start with these open strings. Just get very fluent at being able to remember their names. And then in the next video, we're going to start with putting the fingers down and learning the names of those notes.